So I think it's time to sort of address what's happening with my reef tank that I've currently got in my bedroom. So ignore the background, as if you watch my channel you will know, in my room I do have a Red Sea Reefer 350. It's a fairly decent sized tank. As the name suggests, it holds about 350 litres of water. I have modified it slightly just so it holds a little bit more water, and I can show you that throughout this video. So I've been tinkering around with the filtration, I'll show you all that in a minute. If you follow me on Instagram you might have seen that I have recently added a algae scrubber to it. That's been running for about 10 or 11 days now, and there is algae growing already, which is brilliant, and I'll try and show you that without having to pull the whole thing apart. But yeah, that's just like a little update of where I am at the minute. So what I want to do is basically just give you a little brief look at the tank, what I'm running, things that I need to change, things that I need to address, and yeah, hopefully you'll see it go from what it is now to turning into something that should be absolutely amazing, should spark the love for it again, and yeah, hopefully I can make a load more YouTube videos on it basically. So yeah, let me show you where we're at the minute. So as you saw at the beginning, this is the tank as it is right now. So you can see there is algae growth on the side panel. This panel I've never really touched anyway, I've sort of let that do its own thing. I quite like the algae to grow on there just because of the tangs and stuff. They do like to peck it, and I had a few other fish in there as well that would normally have a little go on that, along with some crabs and some snails and things. But yeah, they're all gone now. These are the only fish. You can see I've got some rock there. This was originally covered in some coral, which was sort of propped up to hide this pump wave maker over here. And yeah, as you can see, that's just, I've pulled that down and things like that. And you can see on the rocks there is a little bit of algae growth. Again, on the glass here you can see some algae, just where I haven't scrubbed it off. But all in all, the water chemistry on here is absolutely fine. I'd probably say the ammonia is a little bit high, and I'm sort of working on that. But other than that, it's pretty much sound. Like I said, it's been running for about 10 years. It's properly well established. All this rock has been in here for pretty much that entire time. And yeah, I've never really tinkered about with it. You can see I've got a little bit of sand. I did go through when I come back from holiday and I had that huge that die off. I did get in there and suction a load of the sand out just because of whatever has been in there sitting there. I just wanted to give it a good old run through. So there's not a lot of sand left in it. I do plan on putting some more sand in, but I do have a plan for what I want to do down here, which doesn't involve sand. It does involve coral, but it all depends on what fish I'm going to decide to put in here. So a lot of this sand I probably will take out. I'll probably put the majority of it over the back, just for underneath the rock, just so the rock's sitting on something. But yeah, other than that, majority of the sand is going to come out. Up here you can see I've got my two Red Sea lights, but there is a video on my YouTube of me actually installing these lights. And yeah, since having them, they've been absolutely bomb proof. They're really good. Control them using your phone, things like that. Completely customizable to whatever you want. I do plan on getting a third one, so I can move this one over, then get a third one in the middle, just because I want more shimmer in the tank and things like that, more brightness. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've just got these two wave makers. I do plan on getting rid of these because unfortunately I did lose one of my pufferfish. I had a dog-faced puffer in here, and he actually got suctioned to one of these. I think it was that top one. He got suctioned to it. It must have happened overnight. I woke up in the morning, saw him stuck to it, and by then it was just too late. So I do plan on getting rid of these, and I want to use something that's a little bit different. I want to use a pump, like to distribute the water around, and that's more because of this rock work. Because this rock work, it's quite hard to get behind and clean. I'm thinking of running a pump with a load of pipe in, and it will go all in and out the rock to sort of blast any dead spots in and around the rock out, and then it'll also come out the sides and help circulate this as well. So that's what I'm thinking of running. But yeah, other than that, I'll probably take a little bit more rock out if anything. I would like a big piece of coral, like some GSP or something like that, to grow and cover that and sort of give that a lot of movement. But yeah, these are all plans future down the line that I'm sort of umming and ahhing about. Again, like I said, I don't really know what direction I'm going in a minute. But we're going to jump into the sump just so you can see what I'm sort of messing about with there. You can have a look at the algae scrubber and stuff. So down here's my sump. Again, like I said, I have been neglecting it. I've not been giving this the love that it needs, to be fair. But again, it is pretty much bulletproof as is at the minute. Nothing's really gone wrong with it, touch wood. But yeah, I thought I'll give you a little run through. So if you've kept Red Sea Reefers, you know, this is like the sort of standard sump, and you can see mine is just sort of absolutely full to the brim with stuff. So I'll start over this side just because this is like the newest thing that I've been working on. So this is my algae scrubber that I've 3D printed basically. I printed it in 2 halves. Now I'm not going to get this out and show how it works just because it's set up and running. At some point at the back there I do need to change this inlet pipe just because it is leaking a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but there is a little bit of salt creep on there. So I do need to change it up there as well. That's quite bad actually. I do need to get all that cleaned out. But yeah, I do need to redo that, and I still need to 3D print a lid for this just to stop the water splashing and things like that. But I can do that in another video when I actually pull this thing out. So I've got 2 lights running in there. They're 2 grow lights. They're fairly cheap off Amazon, and they seem to be doing the business. I do need to get this turned around at some point, so it's facing around the other way. But for now, before I start worrying about all this and things like that, I'm just going to leave it for now, and I'll come back to it. But there is, if I try and zoom in, there is some algae growth, whether it can focus or not. But can you see those patches? So there's, on the middle of the screen there, you can see there's that white area, the light pink area. So that's not got any algae. And then all them dark spots, that is where all the algae is growing. So you can see all over there, over the back. So you can see it's growing quite well. I'll see if I can get an angle over here as well again, so you see all them dark patches like those stains. So that is all algae. Up here in this top corner here, it's growing really well, and yeah, that's just after 11 days. So what I want to do is, before I do get this out and give it a clean and stuff, that I'm probably going to leave it in here for a good 2 weeks, maybe longer, just to see how much growth I can get and then document it then. But yeah, once I do that and I do take it out and give it a clean, I will pull all of this out so you can see how I put it all together, and things like that. But yeah, you can see over the top there's one light, there's another light, and I've got this little perspex screen there which just stops the water splashing on the lights basically. But yeah, so that's my 3D printed algae scrubber. This seems to be working, it's doing really well. It's not 100% finished, but it will be. But normally here, this is where the automatic top-off tank would have been. So basically I scaled this off of that tank, and I've got that over to the side. I'm not going to be using that anymore. But yeah, that's what I basically scaled off, and that sits on there perfectly basically. So the water for this, you can see there's that inlet pipe there. That little dial there, the water comes through a tube there and goes down into a little reservoir. The actual pump that feeds the algae scrubber is in the back there. So the water runs in there, goes down this tube, feeds onto the screen, and then that actually feeds straight into the sock. So if any algae does fall off of this, hopefully the socks will catch it. Then we come to my protein skimmer. As you can see, I've got a giant protein skimmer. I wanted the biggest one I could fit in. This is the first protein skimmer I ever bought. I bought it all as a big lump sum basically. And yeah, it's been absolutely bulletproof for me. Again, touch wood, doesn't go wrong. This is one of the old Reef octopuses. I can't remember what size it is, but as you can see, if you know what these cabinets are like, it literally takes up that whole middle chamber. It is humongous. And yeah, it just sucks an immense amount of crap out. Anything that is in the water column, it's gone in seconds basically, so it does a really good job. And then over to there in this last chamber, that's normally where the return pump is, and I've got a heater in there. And then above that I've got this tank. So this is a custom tank I had made for this. I originally wanted it to be a refugium, but the problem I had was the outlet just kept getting clogged all the time, and then this thing would slowly overflow, and it was just an absolute nightmare. So I got rid of that with the plans of having one of these basically. So I've basically got the algae scrubber, which is kind of like a refugium if you like, and I also wanted more media in here just to act as like more filtration, just to make this thing absolutely bulletproof. So that's why I had an idea of putting a load of ceramic media in here and then just run it as is. So I don't know how much ceramic I've got in there, but you can count all those tubes. they basically go about halfway down, just under halfway. So I've got this whole block here, and then there's the same behind that, and there's the outlet just there behind the protein skimmer at the back, and then that runs down, and that's the outlet there. And there's a big pump there which basically pumps water up through this into there. Now there's a load of flow going through this, and yeah, again, whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know. I don't have to do a great deal of water changes on this tank. It basically looks after itself. I may do a water change once a month, if that, and yeah, it does absolutely fine, to be honest. And that was with just the protein skimmer, and this I've only had in here for probably a year now. So just them two on its own were doing brilliantly. To be fair, they were doing a really good job. I'm still noticing some of the levels are creeping up a bit, so that's why I've now added this. So hopefully with this and that, I'm hoping this thing is going to be absolutely bulletproof. So yeah, there's my sump. That's how it looks. Really happy with everything. You can, it is tight, don't get me wrong. I'm working in very small tolerances, but I wanted to make the most of the room that I've got here, basically, and I've just crammed in as much as possible. I was also thinking of doing like a I think it's like a fluidized filter, I can't remember what it's called now. Basically where you have the media that tumbles in a tank. I was thinking of doing that, or maybe just adding some more of this ceramic, but it's just where I would put it. This cupboard here, as you can see, it's just a load of rubbish in there and all my electrics. I was thinking of taking all this out, moving the electrics to the outside so they're away from all the water and stuff, and I was going to put another couple of chambers in here. One was going to be the automatic top off, and the other one was going to be for more media to go in, basically, but I'm not too sure yet. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. So yeah, that's basically the state of play. Now I do want to rip all this out, give it a full deep clean, even get this tank out, give it a good scrub and clean, get it all back in. This thing I've not taken apart since I've owned it. Oh no, I lie, maybe once, about 4 years ago, I took this skimmer apart, got in there, got into the pump and things like that, but the only thing I changed with this is the collection cup, that is it. But yeah, it is unloved, it does need some TLC, but I will get to that at some point. But yeah, that is the state of play as is. But I'm really excited for this bit. If you are interested in algae scrubbers and seeing how they work and things like that, do follow me along, because I will be doing a lot of videos on this. This is my new baby, and I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. And that's where we're at the minute. That's what's happening with the tank. That's the state of it at the minute. Like I said, plans for it, I've got loads of ideas. I did want to do loads of predatory fishing here and things like that, just because I like big predator fish, basically, but I don't think I'll be able to do anything now. If you watch the original pond I have downstairs, was originally going to be a saltwater pond for big monster fish like big lionfish and a couple of groupers and eels and things like that, and yeah, I had loads of problems with that, so I ended up scrapping that, which is what turned it into freshwater, which I think is a really good decision, because I really wanted to get the freshwater stingrays. I think I'm going to get 1 or 2 more fish for it downstairs. I want to get some more archer fish because I want a big group of those, but I think it's going to be predominantly stingrays down there, because that's what I really want to focus on. I don't think I'm going to breed them. I just want a lot of stingrays, basically, so that is probably what I'm going to be looking at next. But yeah, if you've got any comments, anything that you think I should do with the tank, I'd love to hear what people think. Should I go reef? Should I go fish only? I am probably going more towards the coral side, but a lot of it will just be easy corals. I don't plan on getting any hard corals or anything like that. I want the tank to have like a lot of natural movement, just because I think it looks nicer. Yeah, the nice hard corals are nice to look at with the colours and things like that, but I like movement in the tank. I want something that's going to keep me looking at different things all the time, and it's going to be constantly changing, so that's what I am planning. If you want any information about what's going on with my sump, where I got the custom tank from, the ceramic, how I built the algae scrubber, again, let me know. I will be doing a full video on that algae scrubber on its own at some point. But yeah, it's just, I want to leave that for a little bit. I just want that to get settled, get it sort of growing a decent amount of algae, and then I can do a whole video on that. But yeah, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please give me all your comments, let me know what you think. yeah, I'm just at a bit of a dead end at the minute. I've got some ideas, but yeah, we will see. So again, yeah, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.